Shit.
Cowboys may have taken a major hit. Their star corner, Trevon Diggs, one of the absolute best players at his position in the league, suffered a season-ending torn ACL in his left knee during practice. Could anything be more brutal? His production has been off the charts. Over the last 3 seasons, Diggs has 15 interceptions. That's the most in the NFL. He's held opposing quarterbacks to a passer rating of 63. That is the lowest in the NFL by any defensive back. He is a flat-out elite player, and down he goes for the season. Again, in a practice drill, I guess it doesn't really matter how a player gets hurt, but it just feels somehow worse when it happens in practice. Describe the significance. A defensive player all your life, how would you describe the importance of that to a defense that looks like the best in the NFL?
Significant, right? You talk about a team that plays man-to-man 50% of the snaps, right? And they lean on him. Remember, they had to bring in Stephon Gilmore because the other guy was getting picked on. Now you're going to give me a fish if I'm the opposing team, right? All they play is single high with a low rat player and kind of free the linebackers up. And they play it at a very high level, but it's all based on the fact on the outside, you feel like you can lock down the opposing team's dynamic wide receivers. The problem is now when you have Stephon Gilmore, he's a guy of a certain age, and now you're going to put all this pressure on him to keep up with the best wide receivers in the league. No plays off. Let's see if his body breaks down because he's a guy that's a little bit older, and that's going to get his snap count up in a degree of difficulty for him.
The silver lining is they feel like they have depth at the position, right? They got Jordan Lewis, who played last week for the first time in almost a year. Had a significant foot injury last October. So he's coming back at what turns out to be just the right time. Deron Bland, a player that had 5 interceptions for them last year. So Dallas really feels like it has a deep defensive group. Don't get me wrong. This is not like, the next man up. Diggs is a super important player for them. The contract they gave him tells you that. But they do feel like on defense they have enough depth that this isn't the end of their season. And then you haven't even talked about the pass rush, which I think Mike T wants to.
Exactly. That's the old axiom. When you have questions about your secondary, which now they do, it's their pass rush that can cover up, starting with obviously Micah Parsons. They are beyond dominant across the board up front. So the biggest problem losing Diggs is he turns the ball over. I think they'll be okay. As Dan mentioned, they also have Noah Nagabe that they got from Miami, but they're not going to get the interceptions that Diggs was able to get.
So the interesting thing that I saw in the notes this morning, and Bart, you're already shaking your head, the Cowboys Super Bowl odds did not move based upon this injury. If this had been Micah Parsons, I don't even like saying that out loud, but if it had been, I believe their odds would have moved. The look on your face suggests to me this is a really important injury.
I broke down the entire game last week against the Jets, and it was cover one. And it's because on the outside, Garrett Wilson and Lazard couldn't get open. They're going to have an issue when they go against teams that have 2 stars. Right, because now
you're talking about the Cowboys defense now. Yes. If the other team has 2 top-level receivers,
like Philadelphia, like Philadelphia. So now you got to try and lean, and because those guys are so great on the outside, you know what they were doing, what Dan Quinn was doing, where he would blitz the nickel. Right, he add 5 to the blitz, and it allows him to do all these crazy line stunts. They use Michael Parsons like the Steelers used to lose Palomalu. They tell him find a gap. He has no
Bart. Yeah, Bart Scott.
Now with
Jackass.
That being said, you talk about the front end and the back end is always tied together. So when you talk about, okay, now I have guys that's winning on the line of scrimmage, now that pass rush isn't as significant because quarterbacks can get the ball out of their hands in 2.5 seconds because I don't care what you say about these backups, they aren't Diggs. That's why he got the check.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, he's not a replaceable piece, but they have people to go in there and play.
But so many times the season comes down to how good are your backup corners? How good is your backup center? I mean, this is the whole league, right? Inevitably,
it's the NFL.
Happen to every single team at some point.
And you hope it's not.
You hope it's people you can replace.
How well equipped are you to weather these kinds of losses when they happen?
Cromartie was great, right? Cromartie was great. He wasn't Darrelle Revis.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, and he didn't have to be, but we were able to go get it, Antonio Cromartie. The problem, as Dan just alluded to, Greeny, there are just not corners out there. A guy like Bradley Roby, not household names. So
You're better off with a guy that you have that knows your system.
Those are harder positions to fill in season than others.
That is 3 brutal injuries we've seen in the first 3 weeks of the season. The Jets lose their quarterback, the Browns lose their running back, and now the Cowboys lose a corner, and week 3 has only just begun. But so as of this moment, and we'll have all morning to talk about this, if we feel like there were 3 teams that have really separated themselves in the NFC, the Eagles, we give them the benefit of the doubt at 2-0. Niners are now 3-0. Cowboys are 2-0 and looking unbelievable. Right now, Bart, who's the best team in the NFC to you?
I mean, I always had San Francisco to begin with just because of the play calling and the physicality. All those teams, all 3 of them are both physical as well, but I had San Francisco with the slight edge.
Danny?
I would give it to San Francisco at this point. I think it's great they're playing Dallas in 2 weeks.
I like Dallas because I think the way they're playing offense right now, the opponent's going to have to beat them. They're not going to have the self-inflicted wounds. They outplayed San Francisco in that playoff game last year until Dak threw those 2 picks. So we're going to see in 2 weeks, but I like Dallas.
2 weeks from Sunday night, which is October 8th, they will play Cowboys
just
and Niners
before my
in San
birthday.
Francisco, one of the big games of the last night.
Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We are open for business here. And let me say, Miss Hot Sauce, what's up, Lola? How you doing tonight? We got Dallas Diva. Dallas Diva Gina. What's up? We've got Stacy Schubert in the house. We got Crystal Caramel Corn. Love caramel corn. Who am I missing in here? Has Joanne Gonzalez come in yet? Tay Cowboys. What's up, Tay? Shout out to all the lovely ladies in the place with the style and the grace. All right, so it is not, of course, we have, there's Joanne Gonzalez. Mark, look at the screen behind me. Okay. The picture, okay. There we go. All right. What am I looking at? The picture behind me. Okay, is it okay now? Okay, it's okay. All right. Been on the road, been out of here. Miss Gibson, Qiana Gibson, how are you doing? Ruben Walls in the house. Dwayne Swaney in the house. Did I get Glimmerman? What's up? 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 All right, so we get ready to take on the Arizona Cardinals, and of course, we be talking about practice. Not the game, but we talked about practice where we lost Trevon Diggs, which sucks to highly hell. You can't just replace a Diggs. You just can't. There's nothing you can do to replace him. And, of course, people will say, well, go out and trade for somebody. Here's the problem that you have to understand. And this is one of the reasons why you see teams that go out and they get a big name free agent, they bring him in, and they're not the same person on the other team that you brought in. The NFL is so crazy that they don't practice, okay? You don't practice. Monday and Tuesday, you're not practicing. You got to practice on Wednesday. I practice on Thursday. Friday's usually a walkthrough. Saturday is a travel day. Sunday's the game. Bringing somebody in who may have more talent than Deron Bland right now doesn't know your system, doesn't have time to get up to speed to learn the system. You can't just plug and play. That's like the Jets right now. Everybody's saying, well, the Jets need to trade for a quarterback. We tried that shit with Matt Castle. Matt Castle was a Pro Bowler one year. Matt Castle, in filling in for Tom Brady, had a winning season. Matt Castle was a veteran that was better than Brandon Weeden. Brad Harris, I'm okay. But the problem is you brought him in during the season. He didn't really have a chance to learn the system. And he was really just ass. If you were good, you're going to be playing right now. If you were good, people aren't giving up starters right now. Okay? Deron Bland, he didn't just fall off the salad truck. He's got experience. He led the team in interceptions last year. Is it Trevon Diggs? No. But you've got an incredible defense that's out there, a defense that's been smothering people. Now, I saw somebody up here earlier that said, Mozzie Smith needs to show us something. He's the first-round draft pick. He needs to show us something. I'm going to say pump your brakes, bro. Pump your brakes. Because, I see, here's the problem. A, we expect the first-round draft pick to come out and be in the headlines like Micah Parsons. Nobody is like Micah Parsons. In fact, the Cowboys seem to have lucked into great players. Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra? Have lucked into getting great players really by accident. I don't know that Micah Parsons was their first pick in the draft. I don't think that they thought Micah Parsons was going to be this good. I think they just found out. I don't think that when they got Dak Prescott that he thought he was ever going to see the football field. But he did. Marley Green, shout out to Marley Green's member for 18 months. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, so bringing in somebody right now, yeah, I mean, if you're going to bring in anybody, bring in Anthony Brown, but I'm not looking for him to be the starter. But there's ways you can roll the coverage. We, for once, actually have great safeties that you can use some of them as cornerbacks, as nickelbacks. We have great linebackers right now. We have a great pass rush. If this was Micah Parsons, I would lose my mind. But we're going to be okay. Maybe not as good, but we're going to be okay. Now, Bart Scott, who I have always, he's been Cowboy hater number 2, because he's like a number 2, literally is always looking for something to make himself relevant. Years ago was, I'd take Teddy Bridgewater over Dak Prescott. I wouldn't pay him. Okay, where's Teddy Bridgewater right now? Then the last time it was, I'd take Jameis Winston over Dak Prescott because Jameis Winston ain't had all the things that Dak Prescott's had. Jameis Winston is going to be great. Yeah, how'd that work out? And so today, of all days, Bart Scott really looked like an asshole to the point where even Stephen A. Smith was like, yo, bro, I ain't with you on that. You on your own. You know, you ever been in a crowd where people are saying, crazy things, and then one person says something and it's like, dude, what are you talking about? But y'all were all, okay, no, it's too far. It's too far. Now, Stephen A. Smith will always say, what can go wrong will go wrong. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. And see, Bart Scott's a freaking idiot. So he figured, oh, yeah, this is what went wrong. So let me get it out.
This is a major, major blow for Dallas. And like Stephen A. always says, just wait. Something bad always happens.
No, don't start that. Don't start that.
Let me tell you. No. First of all, I wouldn't do that right now, in all seriousness, RC. Yeah. This is a season-ending injury, so I'm certainly not going to joke about that with Trevon Diggs, my brother. Respect. I got a lot of...
This is a major, major blow for Dallas. And
yeah, so you don't celebrate the injuries, man. Bro, you don't... He is getting... You wanted the heat. You wanted the heat. You got the heat. I mean, bro...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, real hating, man, that's like an art form, man. It's like you like a born a hater, like myself, man. A lot of cats think they hate, but, man, I mean, I'm mad, I'm mad at everything, man. Brother got a nice car, man. Why you got a car?
You got a car, man.
I got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out, man. I hate on it till he's totally broke and ain't got nothing like me, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that's what real hating is all about, man.
Shout out to Matt Garrett. Wrong one. Matt Garrett, our first super chat of the night, and also his very first super chat. Shout out to you, bro. We're going to be adding you, of course, with everybody from last night's and Monday night's live stream to our drawings that we will do game day on Sunday. We'll be here live starting at 1 o'clock all the way through the day watching the games. Bart Scott, dude, the fuck? What? Seriously? Yeah, we get it, Stephen A. Smith, what can go right? Yeah, okay, we get it. But you don't say that when somebody just got injured. So Micah Parsons literally was like, what the F? He's old hating ass. He had to say old hating ass head. That's what he literally said. He's an old hating ass head. Lame as fuck. Excuse my language. That's why I really don't like talking to dudes in the media. As a former player, you are lame as fuck, bro. Just facts, joking about a man trying to feed his family and build a legacy. ESPN got to stop letting these cornballs on TV. Take his ass on out of here. Because I'm sorry. And herein lies the problem. Because these shows have literally just become Jerry Springer. Seriously. When you hear Joy Taylor, my God, here it is today. I had to, it's like a train wreck. You have to watch. It's like, okay, what stupid shit is Joy Taylor going to say today? What stupid shit, right? So her thing was today with the Eagles. Well, Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay, they're a good team. For the Eagles, they're not looking great, but, this is just, you just find a way to win. They're not quite there yet. It doesn't matter how you win. You don't have to look perfect. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Because here it is. Dallas has 2 blowout wins. Well, I need to see more about the Cowboys. What? You saw the Cowboys go. I mean, look, just deal with at least this week what you see. I get it. The Cowboys, we've had issues in the playoffs. I'm fine. But we're talking about right now, the first 2 weeks of the season. There is no way, no how you look at the Dallas Cowboys and you say the Eagles are better than them. You just don't. That's not to say that the Eagles can't turn their shit around, but right now, a guy like Hassan Reddick, who Philly 500 has been saying is better than Micah Parsons, has half a tackle. Their defense has given up more touchdown passes, 7, to Mac Jones, Kirk Cousins, where Kirk Cousins didn't have an offensive line. You can't tell me that defense, which is one of the worst right now in the NFL, that team is better than the Cowboys. Sorry. Not if you actually watch football and look at the facts that are out there. Now, back to somebody talking about Mazi Smith. We expect everybody to come out the box like Micah Parsons and things. But you have to understand there's a difference between positions. Micah Parsons is that dude that is there to get the sacks. He is there to wreak havoc. He is going to get the limelight and the attention. Okay? Marley Greens, what's up, Marley? Having played nose guard, which is now nose tackle, you get no glory. You don't get the chicks. You don't get the hype. Most people don't know your name. All you get is your teeth kicked in. And that's a fact. Now back to Hassan Reddick, who's got half a tackle, 1 assist. Mazi Smith is doing his job. Mazi Smith is holding down the middle. And believe it or not, Mazi Smith at least has a solo tackle, a tackle for a loss, and an assist, which is way better than what Hassan Reddick actually has right now. Oh, Alan Walker. Oh, injured thumb. He's got an injured thumb. Guess what, Alan Walker? See, this is what I love. I love it. I love it. We've got excuses for everybody else. Oh, he's injured. It's an injured thumb. I've seen, what's his name, have a club hand because he blew his fingers off. Sacking people. So if that's the reason, then because he got a hurt thumb, he got a hurt finger, then why is he on the field? If he's hurt that bad, why is he on the field? Because he's definitely hurting the team. He's definitely doing nothing with great players around him. Other guys are doing stuff. Very slippery slope. Well, Linda, what's up, Linda? How you doing? Here's the thing. They weren't my words. They weren't my words. It was Philly 500 who said, and many others, Eagles commentators, Eagles fans, Eagles YouTubers, that how dare you talk about Micah Parsons, Hassan Reddick is better than him. I'm just saying, thus far, right now, he ain't doing too good. That's not to say he won't turn around. Last year he started out with, September wasn't good. He has time to turn around. Just pointing this out. Now, Mozzie Smith is doing his job. He's playing part-time. He's clogging up the middle. And that's exactly what I need him to do. You're not going to see big stats. So when you say, I need to see more from Mozzie, look, if Mozzie is not in the secondary because he's getting double teamed, pushed back there, he's doing his job. If Mozzie Smith is taking on double teams and holding down the middle and forcing the runs outside to the lion, he's doing his job. You won't see him. But what will happen is everybody else will be better because of it. When the quarterback has to rush because as he goes, normally a quarterback will step in the pocket. And just think about some of the games, the agonizing losses that we've had where Aaron Rodgers steps up in the pocket, right? Because see, a quarterback, if the offensive line is doing what they're supposed to do and they're washing everybody outside and making that pocket where it's safe for me to throw the football, if he can step up in there, he's a little bit closer to his receivers, and now he can really survey the field. Or he can take off. But with a Mozzie Smith or a Hankins, they're like an eclipse. They get that push. They're not getting the sack. I get it. They're not getting the sack. But they get up there and get that hand up there. They have to throw around them, over them, sidearm them, or something like that. They start getting uncomfortable. And then when you know that there is a Micah Parsons and a very underrated DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side, the quarterback gets antsy. He gets antsy. And he starts making a mistake. He starts thinking, I got to get rid of this thing quick. I'm about to get killed. You could be like, Zach Wilson and literally shit the pants. So let me address something too. Earlier, somebody had said that Philadelphia, you made a sarcastic comment about Diggs. Here's the thing. Philadelphia, look, Philadelphia, you've been here a lot for a long time. And all that and so on, right? We've got Wyatt Earp. Seriously, Wyatt Earp. Joseph Heatherly. Joseph Heatherly's been a friend, a fan for a long, long time. Joseph Heatherly, like I said, he was Wyatt Earp. He ain't into a lot of the cussing, stupid, bull crap stuff. His wife watches. Maya's great people. His grandkids watch. So Philadelphia, just be cool, okay? Seriously, I get tired of having to unblock your ass, okay? Just understand, because there's nothing worse than somebody, because here's the thing. I want you all to understand here. October 10th, I turned 58 years old. That means I'm the old guy on the front porch telling you to get the hell off my lawn. Actually, I don't care because my grass is not look that good, but still, I'm older. People like Marley Greens, people like Joanne Gonzalez, people like Gina Dallas Diva, people like Angelica Barron, okay? Like Crazy Corvette, people like Joseph Heatherly. We actually want to come in and have a discussion. I get it. YouTube, we got so many young guys and stuff like that. Eagle fans that have been feeling themselves. We used to have Giant fans that were feeling themselves till they turned out to be ass again. But we're older people. And we're not here for all the grab ass, okay? I'm sorry. It's just not. We're just not. So we're actually here having conversations about real conversations about football, life in general, and things like that. Because I got people here that follow me on my cooking and tailgating, on the Red Brick House and stuff. We're like friends and family. And you guys are like Bart Scott, who Diggs gets hurt and you think it's funny. We're not here for that. So don't come in and then you act like a fool and then you go crying like a whiny little bitch on Philly 500. So I got blocked on Mark Holmes show. I didn't do it. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You acted like a fool. Okay? So if you're going to be an asshole and get blocked, don't go crying. Don't go crying. There's plenty of places you can go to be an asshole. That's why I stopped doing Copizzle. That's why I stopped doing because that really wasn't me. No, I'm sorry, it's not me. So we're trying to get back to the roots and things. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to do this because I want to be the shit talker and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm okay with my people. Okay? So Kill, be cool. Be cool. All right? We got kids that watch. We got older folks that watch. They're not here for grab ass. So there you go. Marcus Blackman. Stay classy. Okay? Stay classy. Mark on a roll tonight. We'll appreciate it, Eric. All right, so we have to make it without Diggs. Understand, we looked at this time last year. We lost Dak Prescott with a broken thumb. We had no idea how long he was going to go. But we actually played pretty damn good. Now, I feel like the team will rally. In the same way the defense rallied when Dak Prescott went out, and they ended up saying, we're going to tow a little bit more of the rope. I feel like this team is going to do the same thing. We're going to go out here. We're going to take care of business. Now, the good news is we've got the Arizona Cardinals, which right now the Cardinals, hey, they scored some points, and then they've given it up to like the Commanders and things. We good, Marley Green. We good over here. Damn, last I saw he was using a calculator. Who was using me? Yeah, okay. I use a calculator on my phone all the time. The Bucks are going to beat the Pigeons. Well, you know what? That I would actually love to see. Gina sounds something about Diggs not being been there, being sarcastic. No, I'll play it one more time because this was, it's not okay. I'll equate this to something else too, because Shannon Sharp kind of came out and said why he left Skip Bayless' show. Because when Skip Bayless first went after him saying that you're just jealous of Tom Brady because, he played the 43 and you had to stop at 35 and this, that, and the other. After that first time of really disrespecting him, he kept continuing to do it over and over and over again until the point where it just got to be, I've had enough of this. And Skip Bayless is like, well, aren't we always doing this? I'm always doing this. So what's the problem now? And see, so Bart Scott being the village idiot, okay, being the village idiot, trying to make a name for himself, literally goes out and was like, oh, like Stephen A. Smith said. Okay, here it is.
This is a major, major blow for Dallas. And like Stephen A. always says, just wait. Something bad always happens.
No, don't start that. Don't start that.
Let me tell you.
No.
Look at the shit-eating grin.
I wouldn't do that right now, in all seriousness, RC.
Yeah.
This is a season-ending injury, so I'm certainly not going to
That's where he realizes, oh, wait a minute.
This is a major.
That's when he realizes, like, oh, I thought that was funny. What? Mike says I could care less. But here's the problem. You have to understand, when I grew up, there weren't shows that talked about sports. And when they did, it was George Michael's Sports Machine. And, it was ESPN that was showing highlights where you could get the things in front of you. You could get the facts, you get the highlights, and you could make your own decisions on what you believe to be right or wrong. Now you've got the village idiots out there that are trying to, get a voice and trying to step up because there's so many of them out there. It's hard to get traction. And so you have to be a freaking idiot for anybody to notice. Nobody cares about Bart Scott until he says something that is so freaking stupid and he gets egg on his face. That's when we talk about him. When has anybody ever said, man, Bart Scott really was right about that? That was a great take. Great insight by Bart. It's just like Shady McCoy. And when you watch Undisputed, you feel like they don't even do their homework. They don't even have the numbers, the statistics, the reason behind their argument they're making. Shady McCoy literally says, it don't pass the eye test. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Because everybody sees something different. Everybody does. So, yeah, they need to stop. They need to actually step away from the abyss with some of these people. The fact that they kept Bart Scott and got rid of people who actually know football is a travesty. I just don't understand why this is what we get on an ESPN show as opposed to actually somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. And sadly, too many people will fall into the trap of believing what they hear on these guys. I've got a guy who always sends me an email to tell me how stupid I am. But I'm watching the game last night. Now, we got Rich Eisen basically saying, well, Brock Purdy, he's an MVP. And I'm watching the game last night, and I'm looking, and correct me if I'm wrong, I saw 3 passes last night by the 49ers that should have been interceptions. I saw Brock Purdy, for the most of the time, his big plays were all screen passes that ended up becoming 15, 20-yard completions. Deebo Samuels and his athletic ability going downfield. And that's fine. That's what works for him. Hey, more power to you. If you find out something that you can do that's going to make 15, 20 yards a play, by all means, run it. That doesn't mean, we have to do this for prosperity's sake. We got to go down the field. No. You do it because it works. But I don't know that the screen passes that they do work as well without Deebo Samuels or Christian McCaffrey. But they're going through and they're trying to tell you that Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in football. Of course he got a high completion percentage. You're throwing a screen pass. You've got George Kittle. You got Deebo Samuels. You've got weapons galore. By definition, you're being a bus driver. Am I wrong? You got a great offensive line that gets away with punching people in the face. But I look at that team and I'm like, I wasn't impressed last night. In the same way I look at the Eagles and I say, I'm not impressed by the Eagles. Their defense can be had. Am I crazy? Philadelphia, Allen, I'm going to keep sleeping until the Cowboys can at least prove they can get past the second round in the 2000s. Okay, Philadelphia, okay. Bland can and will get the job done. I believe that because now going into last year, we were basically saying, Deron Bland, who? Oh, man, we got to go. Who was this guy, Deron Bland? And he stepped up and led the team in interceptions. So we are better off, in my mind, again, we're better off having guys that have been there practicing, that know the systems, know the calls and things. No, is he Diggs? No. But what you might find out is this guy might be young, hungry, and trying to make a name for himself, and he plays great. Nick Wright had some interesting takes on the 49ers. Okay, so Nick was right for once? Okay, well, I'll have to go back and look at those. We're going to keep sleeping until Philly catches us in Super Bowls. Great take, Alan Williams. I love that. Until the Eagles catch up with us. That won't be anytime soon, bro. Eagles average 26.5 points per game. Tampa Bay averages 23.5. Those are facts. I'll get the hate with the Eagles. Okay, well, all right. Well, the Cowboys are okay. Well, but Linda, by that rationale, the Cowboys are averaging 35 points a game and only giving up 5. The next closest to them as far as scoring defense is 14.5. So we'll keep that in mind too. I get to hate the Eagles. You want them to lose, laugh out loud. And I'll also say Linda, I hate to say this, but Linda, you were playing New England and Mac Jones, and you were playing Kirk Cousins and Minnesota. By looking at playing the same week last year, Minnesota, you beat them 26-7 the year before. Kirk Cousins threw 4 TD passes without an offensive line, with receivers dropping the ball all over the place, and a defense that really stinks. You, Linda, more than any Eagle fan that I've ever met, and I've got an Eagle fan that's staying at my house this weekend that I have to drive Monday. Oh, no, she drove down. That I got to go to her house on Monday in Harrisburg. I'll be in Eagle country. So Eagle fans, don't hurt me. You cannot tell me that you are not concerned about Jalen Hurts, who only got 2.6 yards a carry, who seems like he's ready to take off and run, where they're corralling him in the pocket. You cannot tell me that you're not worried about a defense that has already given up 7 TD passes and leads the league to Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins without any help. I get it. We get the talking head saying, oh, you're only playing the Jets. They didn't have Aaron Rodgers. I get it. Yeah, right, the offense, I get it. But they had a great defense. The same defense that held Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to 16 points and 4 takeaways. So that's just my point of view. And that's at least an irrational view, as opposed to everybody who has just, believed, because they've written the checks, that the Eagles are great. They've said it so many times in their head that they are shaded and believe that no matter what, the Eagles are great. Oh, it's okay. They're learning a new system, as Joy Taylor said. They're learning a new system, so we haven't really seen them just yet. They got new coordinators. Well, those things might be a problem for the rest of the season. What if the new system that they're learning doesn't fit the team the way the old one did? Kind of like when we brought Mike Nolan in. So coaching matters. Killer Crappy, come up with something new. Adam Scott, I don't think Bland is getting 11 interceptions. Well, but here's Dwayne. He got 5 last year. Led the team. Linda, the Cowboys beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs. The Birds were destroyed by Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Yeah, that did happen there. Win by 1 or 40, the outcome is the same. True. You know what, Alan Walker? That is true. I agree. But not every win is the same. You get the column is the same, but you can look and say, damn, that team was lucky to get a victory, versus a team that you say, damn, I'm scared of that. Yes, I praised Bland for his 5 TDs last year. And he was not a full-time starter. So you got to look at that and say, and Dan Quinn, because here's the bottom line. Dan Quinn took an ass defense from 2020 and rebuilt it with names of guys that you didn't even know. Guys that were afterthoughts, guys that were left on the roadside because of injuries, and put together a defense that is right now looking like, right at the moment, looking like one of the better defenses in football that we may talk about for years. We need to hold the fort down. That's it. What's up, Thomas Garrett? Real deal. Tracy, here's what I will say. Last year was last year. Last year, the Eagles played great. But I'm going to say right now, Tracy, take a look at how your offensive line has played thus far. Now, Sweeney has played incredible. Great game last week. Great game. He's the reason why he won that game. What's up, Logan Motorsports? But you can't look at your offensive line right now and say they're playing like they did last year. They're not. And you can't look at Micah Parsons right now and say Micah Parsons is at the same level he was last year. Micah Parsons, my God. Micah Parsons is a beast right now. So I wouldn't bet on Lane Johnson per se shutting him down completely. Now understand, it's going to be a great battle. It's going to be a great battle. Trust me. But you have to understand, it's not just Micah Parsons on that defensive front, bro. It's Micah Parsons with now a Mozzie Smith and a Hankins that can hold down the middle. It's an Osa Indigazua who has taken his game up to another level too. DJ Mixology. What's up, DJ?
Take the money out, all of it.
DJ Mixology. Get you written down. You have a defensive front that's incredible. And that's not to say the Eagles don't have a great defensive front. But the difference is we're actually good on all three levels. The Eagles, one of the best run-stopping teams in football. But if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm pulling a Kellen Moore because your guys can't cover people. Why am I going to run into the belly of the beast when, it's easy pickings out there in the secondary? Eagles had great players in Eagles defense. Let's talk about week 3 in Tampa when you have a Cowboy fan for a week. Okay. I think Tampa Bay has a good chance. I really do. I think that the Eagles are ripe for the picking. The Eagles were in 2 hot dog fights, and the Cowboys haven't had a fight yet. Hell no. I will stay with my losing team. Laugh out loud. D-Law is coming too. Claude, they literally had the running back at quarterback. Still glad we didn't trade him away, especially hearing the news yesterday about Diggs. Are we talking about Jordan Lewis? Nick Foles rings on meds. Carson Wentz, whatever. Tampa go win. Will Sports Topics, what's up? Safety will back up our corners. All teams have a good chance until the game starts. All right, Linda. Linda, we love you, girl. We love you. But, this is where I think, I know you guys are favored. You guys should win. You are the NFC champions, from last year. But, surprisingly, Baker Mayfield may have finally found a home. But, again, it's still early. There's still time for your team to get back on track. But like us, you're beginning to get some injuries that are piling up. You had Nakobe Dean. Avonte Maddox is lost for the season. Everybody is losing people. Mark, let's talk about Cowboys until we play them. Dak ranked in top 3 ex-quarterback. It's funny. Glimmerman, you're 100% right on this. What's funny is how interceptions are no longer talked about. Interceptions are no longer talked about. The Dak Prescott, he's a turnover machine and everything else. Dak Prescott right now, like you said, top 3. Highest QBR in football right now. Right now. And you look at it and say, the Cowboys haven't even opened a playbook. You've already looked and said, our offensive line has been juggling around. This week, looks like Biotish is going to be out. Tyler Smith should be back in. Zach Martin has been, aching. He should be okay, good to go. He practiced today. And you didn't have Brandon Cooks last week. So you're sitting here looking and saying, we're still learning the system, but we're not turning over the football. We're being efficient. They'll go through and say, well, the Cowboys were terrible in the red zone. You were playing against the Jets defense that they said could go ahead and beat us. Right? The Jets defense that only gave up 16 to Josh Allen, the cover boy from Madden. He hasn't practiced the last 2 days. He's got a hamstring issue, and it's not looking like he's going to. They'll probably do the walkthrough tomorrow and see where he is, but more than likely, he's going to be out. Injuries suck. Lost Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb, Trevon Diggs, I think in a span of 10 days. Yeah, it sucks. Buccaneers have a great defensive front, and they're leading in sacks. Well, they're tied with the Cowboys, Timothy. We both have 10 sacks each. So, yeah. I want to see them definitely get the hurts. But Dak is actually, with the way Mike McCarthy, it's night and day different between Kellen Moore, okay? Kellen Moore ended up being so complex. You know, people took it when we heard that Mike McCarthy was simplifying things. They're saying, oh, well, Dak's just not smart enough to be able to get this stuff. No, by the time Kellen Moore would figure out what he's going to call and get it out there and everything else, the play clock is going down. Mike McCarthy actually trusts Dak and has more options for the plays. And the idea is, let's get it out to the quarterback quickly so you can get time to survey the field and try and see what the defense is doing, much like Peyton Manning. Remember when Peyton Manning would get to the line and it seemed like he was up there, all Omaha, you know, check, you know, and he's doing all this stuff because he's trying to get the defense to show his cards. And once he figured out what the defense they were in, because they were disguising it, he knew where to go with the football. That's what the Cowboys are doing too. They're getting the ball out, getting the plays out there so Dak can line up with the guys. We can make the changes, we can adjust, and we can go through and do this. And when you look at this team, understand, when you look at Aaron Rodgers winning the Super Bowl, he won the Super Bowl only throwing 29 passes and 11 interceptions. Understand, when Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl, he threw 26 TDs and I think 9 interceptions. It wasn't about the quarterback having to throw 40 or 50 TDs. It was about being a great team and not making mistakes. And so this is where Mike McCarthy is, understanding, I got a defense that's going to get me the ball. I don't want to give up the game like I did with Green Bay, where we're up 21 points and we're passing the ball and turning the ball over and losing the game. That is Kellen Moore's problem. Situational football. So when Mike McCarthy said, I want to run the football, people thought he wanted to be the Tennessee Titans, where he's running the ball 50 times a game. No, there's times where you want to go ahead and say, I want to eat the clock. I'm not worried about the statistics. I'm worried about a win. And Kellen Moore this past week, going against the Tennessee Titans, a team that is not a great offensive team, gets into overtime. And what does he do? Play number 1, deep pass. Play number 2, deep pass. Play number 3, deep pass. And see, that's the kind of thing that you learn from Jason Garrett. We can go back to us being up 26-3 against Green Bay with Matt Flynn. That game will forever leave a bad taste in my mouth. When you're up 26-3, there should be no way that you lose that game. But we threw the ball more in the second half than the Green Bay Packers trying to get back in the game. I remember first down, pass, incomplete, 6 seconds off. Second down, pass, incomplete. Third down, pass, incomplete. Punt the ball. Taking off 20 seconds of clock and giving the other team the football. If you had just run the football, and even if it ended up being 3 plays where you didn't get the first down, you still would have run off 2 minutes of the game. If you had done that in the second half and never made a first down, more than likely there's not enough time in the game left for them to come back and win. And that's the problem with Kellen Moore. It's not that Kellen Moore doesn't have the points. It's not that Kellen Moore can't draw up some good stuff. But when you get in a certain situation, you know, it's like you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that's where Kellen Moore doesn't have it. Now, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals should be a slump buster. Arizona Cardinals should be a game that we get in, we dominate, we get out, and hopefully get out with no injuries. This should be a send a message. We're not going to have any letdowns on any of these games. Baker on a mission, or for off OC coaches and bad commercials in Cleveland. Go Baker. Dwayne, we have another, but he's a rookie. Realistically speaking, Dak will throw interceptions this season just like everyone else, but Skip Bayless and ESPN will lose their minds when Dak does it. Oh, yeah, when Dak throws his first interception. Oh, well, you actually, Kevin, we've already gotten into that. here it was. Brock Purdy last night had 3 should have been interceptions that were right in the guy's hands. And Dak Prescott had the one against the Jets, a team that got 3 against Josh Allen the week before. Oh, he almost threw an interception. I don't know about Dak Prescott. He almost threw an interception. It's a horrible pass. Okay. All right. You're telling me that there's quarterbacks out there that don't have a horrible pass from time to time? I see Cards putting up points for their first 2 games. I do. But here's the thing. Do you believe that Washington is really a good team? Do you think that Washington's defense is on the same level as the Cowboys? Now, I know that they've got statistics right now, but who did they play the first game? Can't remember. Who did Washington play the first game? Hang on. I can't remember who it was in the first game. They play Buffalo on Sunday. That's going to be brutal for them. Oh, Broncos. I'm sorry. Broncos, yeah. When was the last time Russell Wilson scored 33 points? So my question on that is, do you think that they are really, that the Commanders are a good team? I'm not going to go there with that one just yet. I think the Broncos realized maybe they made a mistake with Sean Payton hiring him. Skip Cluess is not a Cowboys fan. Oops. Don't worry. It was a gut punch losing Diggs, but we have a great team. We're still in great shape, man. We the boys. Bland is a hell of a corner. Romo was pumping Kellen Moore on air like he was a high demand as a coach. I think he's out of the NFL after this year. Well, Rich, the funny thing is, when it comes to Dak Prescott, it seems like everybody is always, Dak Prescott is only good because we had Amari Cooper. Dak Prescott couldn't do it. Oh, it was only good because we had Zeke Elliott. Dak Prescott, Jason Garrett, he was a great coach. What is Jason Garrett? What did he do with the Giants? He took a bad team and made them worse. Kellen Moore already is like, you're questioning what he's doing. You look at guys like Cedric Wilson who can't even get on the field anymore. Guys like Noah Brown. I know that. Where's Eastside? Eastside is the first one to comment in here. Of course, say go Texans. Eastside, who lives on nothing but Cowboy channels. I guess because nobody bothers to have a Texans one. You look at everybody that goes from Dallas. Their careers aren't much. You've seen too many guys that have left the offense working with Dak that have been great as they were with the Cowboys. At some point, you got to look at it and say, maybe Dak's not that bad. 49ers made the Giants sit out their quarterback like a LeBron rest game. Glad Kellen Moore is out of here. So far, 2 games, our situational football looks much better. Amen on that. Reality is the talking heads have been telling us for so long that Mike McCarthy is an idiot, that Dak Prescott is, literally the worst quarterback in football. And none of that's been true. And Kellen Moore is the genius. And the reality is Kellen Moore went around doing all of the interviews and nobody hired him as head coach. So that should put some red flags up. This defense is not going to miss a beat because of one man, Micah Parsons. I can guarantee you that Micah Parsons is going to have everybody fired up. And the thing I love about Micah Parsons is beyond just a great player on the field. He's also the consciousness of the NFL. Even though he was kicking the teeth in of the Giants, he's questioning like Giants. Okay, look, we're kicking the teeth in. You got your franchise quarterback out there getting lit up. What are you doing? And when it comes to an idiot, a jackass like Bart Scott over here, calling him out and letting him know, bro, you used to be a player. How are you making light of people getting injured? I think I used to think Mike McCarthy was a bum, but he is winning me over. And the funny thing, here's the thing that's kind of crazy. We needed that season in 2020 to lose. If Dak Prescott didn't get hurt, this is how crazy. I don't know if it's a movie is Sliding Doors or something like that. If something happens differently, it's kind of like if you've been in a car accident and you'd left 5 minutes earlier, would you still been in the car accident? But had we not lost the division in 2020 and the Commanders won it, we would not have been in position to draft Micah Parsons. Can you imagine where our team would be right now had we not gotten Micah Parsons? Seriously. We've been screwed. Because beyond him just being great by himself, he is making everybody else in that defense great as well. He is the motivating factor. He is the guy that fires everybody up. And we are so blessed that we end up getting. Do you have a problem? Who's got a problem with you, Angelica? Bart who? Dallas 35, Arizona 3. His nickname was Test Dummy Fart Jones. Damn. Y'all cold. Damn. I don't know what's going on with Jared Atkins and Angelica. But you might want to be careful because Angelica will put a foot in that ass in a minute. What's up, G? I love weed. What kind of name is Bart? He's more like Bart Simpson. Micah Parsons helping Osa have a breakout season. Yes. And see, that's the thing that's great is it's not just Micah. You can't stop Micah with double teams himself. You have everybody else over there. D-Law quietly is having a great season so far too. There's so many guys that are literally getting rotated in. They're fresh and they're coming at you, and they just can't get comfortable against them. DJ Mixology, shout out to you, DJ. What's up, bro? I love weed. Let's pray. Amen on that one. Let's pray for Diggs. Diggs has already tweeted out, thank you for all the support and stuff. His brother, of course, has called Bart Scott an ass clown, basically. And you know how that is. Let me say tonight that it's been a minute since AD's now. Oh, yes, it has been a minute, too. We're probably about due. Let me say tonight was actually great. Nice, actually, conversation show. We didn't have a lot of the usual haters in here that just come in just trying to trash everything. And I really enjoy actually having real conversations and not having to fight off the trolls that just come in to just wreak havoc. Redman R, shout out to you, buddy, for the super chat. He was definitely wrong for what he said. No more Jason Garrett guys. Well, there's very few Jason Garrett guys left. I mean, you got Dak, you got Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, D-Law. But, yeah, this team has been completely turned over. Angelica Surveillance, Giants can't tackle nobody. Shout out to another one of the ladies. I can't stand Bart Scott with his ashes. Oh, man, don't talk about the man's lips. Now, come on. Ooh, what score do I have? Okay. Well, knowing that the Dallas Cowboys defense got pissed off at halftime because they gave up a touchdown, only giving up one freaking touchdown, knowing that they are, let me see if I can pull it. Do I have it? Let's see. The Dallas Cowboys, check this out. The Dallas Cowboys have given up 386 yards total, 3.5 yards per play. The next closest is the Cleveland Browns, 397 yards, 3.7. Everybody else is 4.8 or higher per play. And mind you, the Eagles are giving up 5.7 yards a play. When it comes to TD passes, The Eagles are numero uno by themselves, giving up 7. The Raiders have only given up 5. The Cowboys have given up 1. Rushing TDs, Dallas Cowboys, 0. So you start looking at this and saying the Dallas Cowboys have a dominating defense. And they do not want to give up shit. And at the moment, they're a half a point average away from the 85 Bears. Do I think that they're going to average 4.5 points a game giving up? I don't think so. However, I think that now that we've got Brandon Cooks coming back, that we got Mozzie Smith coming back, that this is going to be a game that you're going to see Tony Pollard feasting. I still think the Cowboys score 31 points. I'm going to say Arizona 3. 31-3. How about that? Okay? That's going to be my score. I can't wait to see what Game Time got coming out when he gets at the mailbox tomorrow at 7 o'clock with Prime Time. 37-10. Derek, you giving up a touchdown to him? I'm going to say 31-3. Don't forget, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we'll be doing our live stream here, 5 o'clock. Our usual Sunday ones. That's Sundays in the off season, but Saturday afternoons, of course, during the season. The big subs order, you got to pick that up. Going to go see Rashid tomorrow. And as always, good people, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And right now, it is time to turn out the lights. This party is over, and I will see you guys soon.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.